welcome back to another Vic vlog. It is roughly 70 degrees here in November, and I know I keep talking about the weather every time I go out and ride, but this is unheard of for the middle of Kansas in November. So, I don't know, I feel like it needs to be said. Not even wearing a jacket today. Probably should be, but I'm not. But I did spend a little bit of time with my babies today. I got these puppies out, washed them, gave them a nice bath. What do you think? Is that orange shiny enough? Is it shiny enough for you? Still need to go through and detail them and take the chrome polish and go over my wheels pretty good. I went over the front wheel a little bit and then decided I could do that later because I just need to get out and ride. But I've got some tar on the aluminum wheels there from a ride that I did over the summer that I need to get some either pre-cleaner or tar remover, get that off, and then go over it with the polishing wheel. But we'll save that for a day where we got to be inside. That's garage work there. As for today, we ride. So I was watching another YouTuber the other day, Killicam, another motovlogger, and he was talking about the first bike that he got, and thought it was a good topic, so thought I would go over how I got into riding and kind of where I'm at today with it. So yeah, I started riding when I was 8 years old, and my dad got me a little Honda XR80, which is a little four-stroke, purple seat, oh, the whole thing. It was a blast. I rode that thing for years. I ran the piss out of that bike. But yeah, I rode that sucker for probably 3-4 years. We had some land that we grew up on, and man, my dad would go up there to work and do whatever he needed to up there, and I would just spend hours riding that dirt bike around the woods and on trails and stuff like that. That was really, you know, how I got into it, and really just how I learned how to even use a clutch and shift and stay upright and whatnot. So I think it's great starting young. Damn, dude. Congrats, you made the light. But I think it's great starting off on dirt first. Just personally, just, you know, from what I've done in the past, it taught me the skills, the basic skills, how to ride a motorcycle, clutch control, throttle control, braking, and, you know, I didn't have to worry a little later on in life about learning all that while on the road with all these other assholes on the road. That was one of the biggest things for me, actually, getting into road bikes, is when you're out on the trails or out in the field or in the woods or whatnot, you're by yourself. You don't have anything to worry about besides your actions and what you do. Whereas out here, I mean, you're just pretty much going in a straight line, and if you're not being stupid popping wheelies or trying to do burnouts and shit like that, I mean, not much is probably going to happen to you. It's all these other people in the cars that are either pulling out in front of you, not seeing you, cutting you off, riding your tail real tight. Stuff like that that's scary out here. Alright, so we got the Honda out of the way. From there, when I was 12 years old, ended up getting a Can-Am 250 two-stroke. I don't know the exact model. I just know it's a Can-Am 250 two-stroke motorcycle, dirt bike. That sucker was heavy, all steel frame. I mean, it was just a heavy son of a gun. And for being 12 years old, actually at the time when I got it, I wasn't even tall enough to get on it by myself. I had to have my dad hold it up while I pretty much climbed on top of it. Dude, a little bit of warning would have been nice. Had to climb on top while my dad held it. And then when I got going, it was pretty much like I stayed going until I was done and wanted to stop. Or, you know, if I stalled it and turned it on its side for the first year or so, I had to have someone come out there help me lift it up and get it upright and going again. But man, I had some good times on that bike too. Had that for a few years. And then when I was, that bike I pretty much drove into the ground as well. I wasn't too keen on motorcycle maintenance at that point in my life. Actually ran it to where the clutch pretty much disintegrated. Third gear was toast. So I would shift it from second to fourth. I still ran that sucker, but you know, it had seen better days. So had that. Next, moved on to a 2005 Suzuki RM250 two-stroke. And talk about a freaking rocket, man. That thing could haul ass. I was probably 16 when I got that bike. I remember splitting the cost of it new with my dad. And I say new, it was actually, it was in a dealership that had burnt down, and they had salvaged all the motorcycles in there. There's nothing wrong with it. They said it had smoke damage. We got it home, literally like rinsed it with the hose, and there was just like a tinge of soot on there. And I mean, it just washed right off. There's nothing wrong with that bike at all. No melted plastics, no rubber melting on the handlebars, nothing was wrong with that sucker. So yeah, I got that when I was probably 16, and man, that bike was a blast too. Did some track riding with it. Never really got too big into that. I would do the track. I could do all the jumps. I could make it through. But man, not growing up doing that sort of stuff, those big jumps, that's scary, man. It took some balls to go over those jumps first couple times. First race I entered in and ended up crashing during the practice laps at the beginning on about a 55 foot tabletop. And long story short, as I went up, my bike kind of turned sideways on me. I hit a wet spot on the ramp, and I ended up turning sideways in the air, hit the top of the landing ramp, and it flung me back the other way, and I ended up flying off the bike and landing down at the bottom of the landing ramp. And the bike ended up landing on me. I ended up tearing a ligament in my neck, had a minor concussion from it. I was awake the whole time, but man, that next day it hurt like hell. So that was the off-road bikes that I had growing up. That's a pretty decent looking Harley. It's got the 107 in there. That's a new one there. That's too bad this is faster. I ended up selling that bike right after getting into pharmacy school because I was not doing much of anything around that time. I had to focus on my studies, so ended up getting rid of that. Didn't buy another bike until, maybe 8 months after I got out of school. And it was the first bike I actually ever bought new from a dealer. Bought a 2015 KTM 690 Enduro R, which is about as close to a dirt bike as you can get, with a headlight and blinkers to make it street legal. And that's one bike right there I wish I still had. But man, that bike was a wheelie machine. The wife did not like it as much as the bikes I have now due to the wheelies, but that's okay. And then we ended up selling our house and needing to move, and just to help fund the move, I went ahead and sold that bike. And then when we got to Kansas, ended up buying my cross country a little over a year ago, and bought the 2014 Victory cross country. And ever since then, I have been in love with Victory motorcycles. I got that bike, did a few things to it. It actually came with the 23-inch front wheel on there. A couple other little things done to it, but it is incredibly comfortable. It's got awesome power for the size of bike it is. And that's just something you can hop on and cruise all day long on it and just love life. cannot go wrong with that bike. And after a while, I kind of got the itch to go fast again. I was actually talking to Becky about possibly getting another bike, maybe a supermoto, maybe doing something like that. And she actually agreed to let me get another bike. But anyways, was looking at the Victories again. They ended up coming out with the announcement that they were no longer going to make them, and so I was actually looking at some of the models and looking at the prices, and the prices really were not that bad on them for a couple year used bike. And so anyways, I ended up buying the Jackpot here this past spring, and this kind of gets my speed fix in. I mean, this sucker's loud, it's mean, and it hauls ass. Can't do the wheelies like I was doing on the KTM, or if I were to get another supermoto, but I'm okay with that for now. Probably down the road I might look into getting something like that again. But love the Victory bikes. Absolutely love Victory bikes, and it sucks that they stopped making them. It really does, because they had some of the best looking bikes style-wise, some of the coolest looking bikes from the factory. I mean, this paint job from the factory is sick. And due to them no longer being made, I don't know if I'm ever going to sell these bikes. Maybe one day if something that I just can't live without comes along and I need to buy that, I might. But man, I love these bikes that I got. So yeah, those are the bikes that I've had so far. They definitely will not be the last bikes I ever buy. So comment below what age you were when you started riding, what kind of bikes you've had over the past years. Hope you liked the video. Hit that like button below, subscribe if you want to see more, and thanks for checking out the Vic vlog.